Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the NECC Rocket League week number 3. My name is Bass from the Past, and I'm joined by the one, the only Novanta. Novanta, we get to close out the night with some West Coast action. Boise State versus UC Davis. My friend, I could not be more excited. How are you doing this fine night?
You know what? Thanks for inviting me. I'm a New York boy through and through, but I've been living in the best coast for a long, long time, and this nightcap is going to be epic. Boise State Blue, UC Davis. What a way to end out the festivities this week.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be an incredible match. We've moved over to the West Coast Challengers Division, mid-tier division, Division 2, and a little bit of differing outcomes for these two teams. Coming into this one, Boise State, the Orange, are coming in at 2-0. They took 2 3-1 wins in a row to start off their season. Meanwhile, UC Davis, well, they've had a bit of a shakier start, but a good one as well. One game to start off, 3-0 versus Valparaiso, and then second game, take a loss against Fresno State Red, but 2-3, almost able to take that second win. Coming into this week, probably wanting a little bit of revenge against a team that's pretty hot. Obviously, I don't think we can necessarily call this one behind the scenes quite yet, but going into this very first matchup, or into this very first game, I should say, what are you hoping to see out of these, mid-tier teams?
You hit the nail on the head about the momentum that each squad has right now. We're heading to week 3. This is where you have to realize you can't keep saying it's early in the season anymore if you get to week 4 and week 5. So we really got to see what tactics both teams are going to do as they head into the mid-season form, because it's just like that the season could be over. I'm looking for UC Davis to really get out there and start off the scoring lines early, because I don't think you want to play around with Boise State. And so it's hard to call up to the Castles booth. All I can do is say, let's wait for the action, because I can't call it right now.
Yeah, indeed, and we are just waiting for that action here. I think we're just about ready, making sure to get everybody onto the field, make sure that the teams are ready to join on up, and there's the signal. We've got the teams in the lobby. We've got them hitting the field here. 5 minutes on the clock. Kickoff just about underway. Good luck to both of the squads. Let's see what they've got. Boise State looking to go 3-0 in the blue team. UC Davis trying to go 2-1 on orange. Let's see what they have.
It is fitting that the last match of the night is under the stars of Beckwith. I think we're going to have a classic on our hands.
We're going to have to find out. And already, though, it's going to be some high-scoring action as Thunderama, 10 seconds in, already puts in our first goal.
Thunderama does a good job of waving the pass from Circuit, and Thunder goes near post. See, I think a lesser team would have gone for the wide shot. Going near post, corner of the defense, 1-0, and it's only 10 seconds gone.
My word, a very, very hectic start already, but hopefully we can see a quick response out of UC Davis. Not quite yet, though. Locked into their own half. Trengor doesn't go up for that one, so Tom has to make some sort of touch off the backboard, but Thunderama will be lurking. Not the end of the BSU offense yet. Pass down to Circuit, not quite in. It's contested, and so is Toxic's follow-up shot, but the onslaught of shots continue here as Boise State continue to push a pressured offense.
It looked like that Boise State has practiced that very exchange on the training ground. Circuit was just one shot away of making a 2-0 scoreline.
It looks like they're not quite done yet. Toxic going to take this one to the corner. Not quite the pinch they were looking for as Trengor had to easy read out. Oh, and that pass out to Chalky Milk is also an even better read. I got to say, we've had a lot of good names here in the NECC. Oh, I love all of them. Might love Tom a little bit more right now, but I also want to give a shout out to the man who made the assist, Chalky Milk. That's quite a name.
Chalky Milk with the nice assist to Tom, who was my first friend on MySpace, but either way, we have an equal scoreline 1-1.
Yes, everyone's first friend on MySpace. Man, I remember MySpace. We've now here at the NECC, we've moved on to a different social media platform and a couple of them. So again, if you guys do want to follow us, make sure to hit us up on socials in the chat, !socials. But for right now, let's focus on this Rocket League action here. As again, we're back to a tied score line, 1-1 with about 3:40 remaining, and maybe we have a chance for Boise to start running with this one. Popped high. Can't quite get it out of the midfield, though, after that first touch, and instead Chalky's touch to the corner become contested, but may start up an offense for UC Davis. Into the center, this one goes from Trengor's touch. Far too high, though. Thunderama, though, that's not the touch they were looking for. In the middle for Tom, and you know he's going to hit that every single time. 2-1, UC Davis in the lead.
Oh man, that was like that fight when someone drops their hands. It was waiting there fat right in front of goal, and Tom makes quick work of it. The scoreline is 2-1. Tom must be feeling pretty good right now, being on the receiving or the giving end of 2 quick goals.
Yeah, so far it's been 2 quick goals in a row. Right now that feels like the pace. I'm interested, Novanta, do you believe that that could be, somewhat bad for these two teams here? A lot of time we see teams that try to rush a bit much, and once they do that, they start leaving holes in their defense here. Could that be what we're seeing for Boise State? They're trying to keep up with the pace of UC Davis so much that they're just making minor mistakes that cause them bigger issues.
Well, from my vantage point, it looks like Boise State had their different formations set up for textbook clinical plays, just like this one. What a shot by Thunder Rama, leveling out one more time.
Well, I mean, all right, we can criticize them for their speed, but when the other team is making some uncharacteristic errors as well, it's really not going to matter. The speed will be punishing this time. 2-2, 250 left here, and honestly, this series looks like it could go either way, but one thing is absolutely for certain: the hits are never going to stop here. You predicted it early. This is going to be a very tense series if it continues like this. But not if you pass it out to your opponents. Chalky Milk with a touch they did not want. Thunder Rama's going to try and clean this one up. At least gets a 50 that goes out to Toxic. Toxic out to Circuit. Oh, but the pre-jumping save. I wasn't able to see who that was. But it looks very prepared. UC Davis are very prepared and now actually have a counterattack. Tom, solo play to pop it into the middle. 3-2 UC Davis.
I was just about to say in the last goal that what was good about Boise State is that they have a rigid structure, but the thing is UC Davis is playing a very fluid game, being able to adapt, filling in the crevices and the nooks and crannies, and that goal was more or less served up like it was a #1 at Mickey D's.
And indeed, it was a perfect serve, but the unfortunate thing is it's only a 1-goal lead, and that can be erased in the blink of an eye. Thunder Rama will equal us back on up here. Not even 30 seconds, maybe even 20 later.
Thunder Rama is looking for respect, and with a goal like that, that makes everyone on your opposing side goes, oh man, how could we let that happen? You're getting in your head, Thunder Rama. I really feel like he can actually make more damage happen for a squad.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the big thing we're seeing right now. Some games we see, that highlight player, the person who's going to stand out. I don't necessarily think that we're not seeing highlight players, but I don't think we're seeing quite the highlight player yet for either one of these squads. They're doing a good job of making sure to keep everybody involved here, and they're playing their roles pretty much perfectly. The question is when do one of those roles fail? 1:45 left on the clock. It's another counterattack here now for BSU, and that was not the touch. They can get an easy counterattack when the other team is passing it straight to them. Circuit will take advantage of a poor touch out of Trengor.
Sometimes the geometry in the games will fail you, and when you have someone in the mid-pitch locking it down like how Circuit's been doing so far, that was easy pickings as well. A lot of these goals we're seeing on both sides are just punishments, and that's a good thing. That really is that defense will win games, because right now we have a high score and affair to these miscues.
Yeah, so far it's been, a very high-scoring affair. I thought we might see another one there. Tom almost faked out Circuit in front of the net, but Circuit was well too aware of that one. And now all of a sudden BSU looked to put in, indeed, their 5th goal here. I saw that pop, wasn't sure if it would go over the last defender's head, but Circuit, our week 1 player, I believe week 1 player of the week, comes back and continues to dominate here in game number 1.
So for the first time in the series, you don't have a tie here. Boise State is up by 2, getting to their rhythm, but it's not perfect yet. UC Davis still has the path for victory here because 1 minute and 14 seconds is a long time if you want to get some goals on their scoreline.
They're going to have to make some quick haste with that. Like you said, 1 minute is not the longest time, but it is enough that they could probably make this comeback, but not if they allow another goal here. Offense started for Boise, but wasn't quite able to find anything. Thunder Rama, though, going up high. Wanted the reset, I think, but couldn't quite make the touch that they were looking for. So instead, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board, but maybe only momentarily. Circuit almost rips off a shot on target, but Chalky Milk will get in the way. It will not be the end of the offense yet, though, for Boise, and unfortunately, for UC Davis, they can't afford that. Actually, they will get an offense. Okay, never mind. I was about to say they might get a chance, but instead it's a missed touch, and all of a sudden UC Davis are back into their half again. I feel like this is an unfortunately common trend we're seeing right now, Novanta.
Yeah, the gloves are off here between two schemes. It feels like Boise State understands they want to put one more for emphasis to make sure they have the confidence. And UC Davis is scrambling a bit. Want to make sure that if they do lose this game, they don't have another soft goal conceded, because that can get into your head for game two.
Maybe they can score one more to give themselves some sort of confidence here at the end, but as this ball just flops around the side, wait, Chalky will try to put in a 50-50, and Tom will put one in. Just as you were saying, the confidence needed to be on their side. It looks like they will do exactly that. A bit of a lazy defense here at a BSU because they knew they had to win, and, well, they do indeed still take game number one, but the good thing is now for UC Davis, they have a little bit of momentum on their side. Rather than losing by 2, they lost by only 1 goal, and they can take that confidence and take it into game number 2 here. So definitely not the worst game we've seen out of UC Davis. A really good game at that. Just need a little bit more if they want to try and push past Boise State.
There's a reason why we call those goals insurance, because the deductible hit at the 0 mark and BSU squeaks one away. Look, it was a good game from both teams, but if you're Boise State, there was way too many opportunities where your rigid rotations opened up a porous defense for UC Davis to capitalize on. So you got to tie that up, pick up the speed, make sure you're covering your second man so you can close up those holes in your defense. And if you're UC Davis, you are like an enigma. No one's quite figured out your shape quite yet. Use that to your advantage. We all love scrappy play. Now it's time for it to pay dividends for you.
Oh, absolutely. And it really is going to be such a telling game number 2 here, because we need to make sure that these teams are not only, prepared for the pressure that they might face, but we want them to be able to play to their utmost ability even when they are underneath that pressure. So again, this is a huge week for Boise State here. If they want to try and keep the ball rolling, if they want to go undefeated or, have a shot at that, they need to keep taking the wins here in this week. They started off strong, but again, this was a UC Davis team which could have, needed some time to warm up, weren't really as comfortable game number 1. So if we see that same sort of squad that we saw at the latter half of the game for UC Davis, I think that they might just be taking a win away from Boise State. But, we'll have to find out. 5 minutes on the clock, game number 2 underway, and already though it looks like it's Boise's offense, and they're not going to slow down quite yet. Thunderama to the backboard. Trengor will get a clear out, and matter of fact might even have a quick counter attack here. Chalky can't quite get the touch, but Circuit, I was going to say, might get contested, but instead it's a solo play, and again, it's this high fly in action as Circuit tried to get the bump. Not quite able to, but game 2, the hits never stop, Novanta.
All that hard work and didn't get a goal for it. That is the most life lesson shot I can think of. All that effort and not get rewarded.
Ooh, but they might get rewarded on this play. This one popped high. Toxic can't get it in, but Circuit will punish on the rebound.
Look how important this shot on the top of the crossbar is. Drung out the defense on the right side. Circuit shoots it left. Now, if it's too much, it goes left. You have Thunderama as a second option rebound, but it was just enough. That's where you create your own insurance, and that's why Boise State's up by 1.
Indeed they are. They're up by 1 right now, and they might just be able to hold on to this if they can continue to play how they have previously. We thought, hey, UC Davis, they got the momentum on their side. They might be able to come out in game number 2 explosive. Instead, it's Boise on the other end, but for right now, they do have to endure a little bit of offense as UC Davis tried creeping into their opponent's half. Not quite able to get a good shot on target yet, but they're not done at all. Tom goes high for this one. Circuit, though, very early, pops us to the midfield. And the physical play will open up the goal for Thunderama.
You see that? Switching to a 1-1-1 formation. Circuit goes up. I guess I said in the comms because she just circles off and goes for a bump for a shot. Easy peasy for Thunderama. The scoreline is now doubled, and I know there's some time left, a lot of time left for UC Davis, but Boise State has come with a whole new level of energy.
Indeed they have, and well, it's going to be hard to stop that level of energy because it just keeps rolling here. Again, they took 2 wins in a row to come to this point already. For them to then immediately take a 3rd win, the momentum would entirely be on their favor just for the season. And well, the momentum's in their favor right now. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left here. Let's see if maybe UC Davis can break that momentum as they take this to the corner. Pop middle, but that's a very early pre-jump out of Trengor. It's not going to allow them to take a clean shot, but as Toxic's in an awkward position, it's a desperation clear out to Thunderama, who will get the follow-up touch, but you can see it's a little bit of panic on the back end for Boise now. They need to try and hold strong as this UC Davis offense develops.
Cam knocked in for going what worked for them before because that got them a higher scoreline currently, but UC Davis is figuring out. You see, a lot of things about strategies, especially at this level of play, is that your opponents, if they're worth their salt, can adapt to it. So you always have to find a way to stop an attack to confuse your opponents unless you open up goal-scoring opportunities. 2-1 to scoreline. What a shot by Tom.
Oh, this was just a pretty pass and a pretty shot. Well done all around there. UC Davis taking the time to make sure to put that one in perfectly here. And now they've given themselves a little bit of an opportunity. I don't think it's going to be easy because Boise State definitely have been jumping pretty quickly here. And if you give them the time and space, they just might punish. But BSU could not quite get that one through here. Gonna have to retry all over again. Oh, but they might not get that opportunity that quickly. UC Davis is going to put the pressure on at midfield. The 50 doesn't go their way, but the follow-up from Trengor, oh, was a good touch, but the 50-50 again at midfield will now give some space to BSU. BSU are jumping on their opponents, not giving them any room to breathe, and it is making it very difficult for UCD to get out of their half.
It almost looks like the ball is up on a tee for every time BSU wants to disrupt an offensive attack. I like the idea. It's kind of like this swarm mentality, like a bunch of wasps or hives, and it starts to frustrate your opponent and causes them to make defensive errors. As you can see, especially in game one, defensive errors have been the difference between the two teams. So even though it's not the cleanest play currently, I can't knock BSU for trying something different.
Yeah, they're trying something a little bit different, and the good thing about that is that, you know, it throws off your opponents. The minute they get used to one game style, all of a sudden they've got to get used to a whole nother one, and it's working out pretty well so far here. Thunder Rama is going to try and get, oh, another offense started, and as they bully Trencor in the corner, it'll give some time for the teammates to get set up. Circuit can't get the 50 until about midfield, which will allow for a UC Davis offense to build, but as Tom can't quite make the touch, it's two players retreating and Trencor charging. Will actually make a really good challenge there, almost able to slot it past the defenders, but the two BSU players that were back will not let it through, and only a minute left now. BSU just need to hold on. If they can survive this minute, they will be on game point. And uh-oh, here comes the UC Davis offense though. Oh, but maybe only momentarily.
Well, beats one defender and almost beats the second one. This is a different story than the first game where we saw 9 goals scored between both teams. This is a 2-1 affair, and it's tight, and I can definitely feel the tension on the pitch between these two right now. It's anyone's game, but I have to give the edge a little bit to UC Davis. He's been able to cover a lot more ground with their speed, but there's nothing to be said about the technical prowess of Boise State once they get a shot on frame. They just haven't been as fortunate quite yet.
Not quite, and unfortunately for them, they don't really have the time to wait for that fortune to favor them. 20 seconds left here in game number 2. They lose this one. They're going to have their opponents on match point on the verge of being swept. They need to get something in, and they will do so when the time is in, or when it is crunch time, and when it counts the most. They will put this one through. 14 seconds, and Trengor ties us up.
Well, it looked like Thunder Ram was going for the clear route, but it got stopped by Chalky Milk, and the stopping of the speed opened up for the pass back, and I don't know, that's one of those ones you think about after the series is over and go, how did I let that one happen? But they're now equal. But for how long?
Word. If that one went through, I might be saying the exact same thing. It was a very risky challenge out to the center out of Thunder Rama. Flicked it high enough to get it away from everybody that could take a shot, but it almost led us away from this overtime. Game number 2 here. Overtime underway. Let's see which team comes out on top. Again, you've been mentioning UC Davis has been playing a very patient and technical game here, but they need to make sure they do not make some of the mistakes that have let their opponents score before this.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. One of those things in the overtime situation, especially in a 5-game series, you start to wonder where it all goes down, where its concentration works against you. Now, there's an opportunity for 2 shots on goal from Boise State. Let's hope they don't rue the day if that causes them to lose this one. But a golden goal situation always turns up the heat, especially 2 teams that are being as aggressive. And you don't want to have too many of these because all of that becomes a marathon of mental anguish about how exactly you break the defenses of your opponents.
Oh my word, and they're going to have to try and hold strong so far here, though. UC Davis, their defense has not broken yet. Oh, but there's the first big miss. Chalky Milk does not make the touch in the corner that they need to. Luckily, their teammates will back them up, but UC Davis have to be careful. They make too many errors like that, and eventually one of them will be capitalized upon by BSU, but for right now, they're at least surviving. The onslaught has not stopped as Toxic pops this to the middle for Circuit. Circuit keeps it out to the side, though, and Toxic will be able to jump on this one yet again. Passed up high, no one jumps on it though. Circuit did have the heads up to be able to go back to his own half and get ready for that inevitable shot. And speaking of which, another shot rings through, and Toxic will pick up their savior medal now. So even though there's an incredibly high pressure offense coming out of BSU, it seems that their defense is just as solid as well.
That savior medal was well deserved, and I was just about to say that a lot of these goals came from top down on top of the crossbar. How about getting another one of that? And that last shot was within inches of being the tiebreaker. Maybe that's not working right now. I would try to use the corners to your advantage. Use both sides. I like to call them the horns. That may be the one that draws the defense for an open shot. Here comes Toxic.
Speaking of which, almost. Yeah, exactly. As soon as you mention it, all of a sudden they try to get it in from the corners. They can't quite do so, but that pass out to the center gave tons of room for a potential goal here. But so far, unfortunately, well, honestly, fortunately for me, I like to see the Rocket League action. We're 2 minutes in, and it doesn't look to be ending anytime soon. Oh, but I might have just jinxed it. Not if they can do anything about it. UC Davis will deflect that one out. Not sure if any player got accredited with the save, but it continues to be a dazzling defense for UC Davis that has kept them in this game.
This right here. Oh, another save, but it's not enough. I was just about to give say 2 minutes and change, but look at the shot here by Toxic. It pops up, brings it down. I was about to say what a save, but it didn't get all of it. Chalky Milk with the redirect, bottom corner, 3-2. BSU's on series point.
So unfortunate the minute we start talking about it. I mean, that caster curse had to show its face at some point here. We talk about how solid the UC Davis defense is, but the one moment that we need them to hold strong, and they just cannot quite. BSU now on game point Novanta. This is a scary place for UC Davis to be.
BSU has shown that they have secondary and tertiary options. Game one was all about Thunderama. Now Toxic has stepped up. Not saying Circuit's going to be the one in game three, but I like the fact that you keep your opponents guessing. You don't have to mark someone if you don't think they're going to be a scoring option. But if everyone's a scoring option, what do? And UC Davis, it's all or nothing. You are about to be swept. I don't care what you think about being aggressive. I don't care if you think about doing some rotation cuttings if you have to. Get on the ball, challenge more, because if you lose one, it's over.
Yeah, it's do or die time now for these teams. They've got to play to the best of their ability. And again, this is what we were talking about. I think in game number one is where I mentioned this first off, was that Boise really do have three players that are all incredibly lethal. Matter of fact, that last game, all three players were able to get a goal in there. 2 assists for Circuit and 1 for Toxic, as well as 3 saves for Toxic. So they can really do everything. They're playing on both halves of the field. They're playing with a great rotation. And unfortunately for UC Davis, they just don't seem to be making their opponents uncomfortable. So BSU right now, it's the same sort of thing. Just keep playing the sort of game that you've been playing. UC Davis, they've got to make their opponents uncomfortable. If they continue to let them play how they do, it's going to be very difficult for them to stop. But we'll have to find out. Game number 3 underway here. Like we said, this is do or die time for UC Davis. They lose this one, they get swept. They win this one, they keep the hopes alive, but we'll have to find out. That is a much harder task than it is easier said. So we'll have to see what happens here in game number 3.
Probably a nuclear option for UC Davis, but I was trying to start experimenting with more of a ground-based game. It just seems that BSU always has their number once the ball goes to the sky, and Toxic opens up the scoring.
Oh my word, a very quick start indeed here. Pops this one straight to the middle, and it's a little bit of a defensive breakdown, but you know, they'll take it. They can take what they can get. At this point, if they can continue to make UC Davis feel uncomfortable and keep them in these awkward positions, they will do so. I don't think this BSU team is in any sort of form to be able to show any sort of mercy. They've got to keep their foot on their opponent's necks here as they continue over and over to pepper the net. And now back into this pressured offense. We've seen this far too many times, Novanta, and it is a scary place for UC Davis to be.
Scary place to be for a couple of reasons. Going above the backboard is when a lot of these goals happen, like we said earlier, and we're trying to get some more, but I understand the human nature to say, look, we're at series point, we have the lead, let's slow it down, let's run the clock, if you will, but this is all about momentum. You work with a slow pace for too much, you give your opponents too much space, they can tie it up, just like that. Trengo with the goal.
Out of nowhere, too, here from cross court. A good capture out of midfield here, and then a quick shot. Just really, I feel like it just kept the defense on edge there. There wasn't really much of one, but BSU there was not expecting how quickly that got turned into a shot. And well, now we're at a 1-1 ball game all of a sudden, and this one is not quite over yet. UC Davis are going to keep fighting until they hear that very last clock tick down, the last second dissipate from the scoreboard here. And, well, they look to keep fighting even with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. Have to retreat really quickly, though. Tom by himself in the backfield has to buy time for his teammates. Doesn't buy enough time, though. Toxic shot is off the mark, though. Circuit will make a follow-up, and Thunderama will finish it off. Had my heart stop for just a moment there, though.
Toxic crossbar down, Circuit at the top, crossbar down. Thunderama goes in there. It's like they planned it, Cirque du Soleil style. Again, UC Davis is a little bit slower when the ball goes in the air, and again, they paid for it. If that's the game plan, I suggest they change it unless they lose this one in 3 straight.
Yeah, this is definitely not the position. We keep saying it, that UC Davis want to be in here. They'd much rather have an early lead and be able to play with a little bit more confidence on their side, because that really has been one of the things that I feel like have plagued them in the series. Oh, but they might just get some confidence from this one. Heads up shot on net, and Trengor has us tied up.
We could talk all day about going high in the formations, but stealing a goal feels extra sweet. The claw back within 1, 3 minutes to go. Their journey is not over yet. There's some life in the UC Davis squad.
And one thing that I also really am liking, that I feel like is something we have talked about but not really, emphasized as much, is that BSU, because of the fact that they have such a high-pressure offense, does lead some gaps in the backfield. They have done a good job of recovering and getting to their back half as quick as possible, but now we're actually seeing punishments out of UC Davis. If they leave their back half open for even a couple of moments, all of a sudden, UC Davis will jump on it. And, oh, speaking of which, almost able to get their own high-flying goal, but not quite. Instead, we'll remain tied up as we lead into the halfway point here in game number 3.
Little bit of juice from that passing play, but that could have easily been one to break the deadlock here. But it's going the other way with Thunderama. Bottom 90. Lights out. What a shot.
Well, that's one way to break it open as well. Good pass out from Circuit, to be honest, really heads up, and just a very, very intelligent play more than anything. Circuit could have ripped one on target there, but by passing that one to the center, it keeps the defense guessing what's going to happen. Your teammate's going to have a better shot. And again, this is what's been so scary for BSU. All 3 players are lethal strikers, lethal passers, lethal defenders. Oh. They do make a bit of a defensive mistake there, but it will go unpunished. But UC Davis are not quite done yet. The offense continues to be electric, and I mean, we said it game number 1, I'll continue to say it here in game number 3, we might be on the verge of a sweep, but there is no way you could tell which team could do it. Tom will put this one in 3-3, and UC Davis aren't done yet.
Tom says that if I can help it. Swings the other way, which I thought was unique at the time, but it totally hits pay dirt. That's a big brain shot there. 3-3 retired again. And, well, pass from the past, let me ask you this. This could go on for a long, long time with these goals. What do you see the score going to be with another score off the corner from Toxic?
I don't really know at this point. Maybe we see 5 goals apiece. I'd be surprised if we don't. With the rate that we're going at right now, we'll be seeing, I don't know, maybe 7 goals apiece. But I'm going to, hopefully we start to see some defensive efforts here. Not that I am not loving this absolute spectacle of offense as, oh my word, almost another goal goes in. But this is not something that these teams can do long term. As much fun as it is to have an absolute shootout here, other teams might punish you a little bit more quickly than this, and matter of fact, the teams on the field might end up punishing you more quickly. So really, whichever team starts to take advantage of the defensive misrotations will probably come out on top. But right now, it's looking to be Boise, as they are up by 1 goal and only need to hold on for another minute 30. Oh, and a waterfall drop down could give them a shot. Tom will pass that out to the side, but here comes the offense yet again. BSU will score as Thunderama passes the Circuit, and Circuit shoots this beautifully.
It's one of those things you got to give credit for Tom to say, but it's also the setup to the goal anyway. What a unfortunate position to be in, and I've been there a lot myself. 5-3, 2 goals separate the 2 squads with 90 seconds to go on the dot.
Oh my word, this is just a nightmare scenario for UC Davis, and the nightmare continues. Oh, they do get lucky. They get a little bit of a blessing as Toxic does not hit that one, but again, they're making small errors on the defense that are getting punished by BSU, and BSU do not seem to stop anytime soon as the passing plays. Oh my word, what on earth?
The wound's been open now. Thunderama beats 1v3, gets the circuit and rolls in. Chocolate Milk was there kind of a step too late, and the floodgates have opened. 6-3 Boise State.
Oh my word, listen, last time it was all, we were talking about, you know, how Circuit was such a lethal striker and such a lethal passer. That was, I think, week number 1 where we gave them the Player of the Week award for Rocket League. Now we see them again to close out the night here in week number 3, and the passing plays seem not to be a one-time occasion. This just seems to be the usual here for BSU as it's continuing to link up. Every single goal they've had so far has been a passing play here. 6 assists on 6 goals. That is beyond impressive, to put it simply.
I don't know, they might actually be friends after this, the way they're working up in the offense, hands up. But look, UC Davis is not done. They have one more to their tally.
Oh, they're not done quite yet. Forgive me for starting to praise BSU. I might need to praise them once they have finished the job here. 2 goals in 35 seconds. Novanta, this is very possible.
Crunch time is an understatement. Being up 2 goals with 30 seconds to go is a semi-comfortable position to be in, but it is not out of the question to drop that many goals in that short of time. UC Davis has to make this happen, and it has to be now.
They've got to move as aggressively as they can, and as they go out to midfield, Tom has got to jump on this quickly. Toxic gonna play a little bully ball as they jump on top of their opponent and don't allow them a clean touch. And oh, who else but Circuit and Thunderama? Yet, I was gonna say another one from the passing play. Off the bar it goes, but Circuit and Thunderama, even in crunch time, are making these linking passes. Maybe 1 goal will come in through here for UC Davis, but with a 2-goal deficit, they cannot make the full comeback, and BSU, Boise State University, will take it in 3.
Well, you know, even though the scoreline says 6-3, I think Boise State could have scored more. They were completely in sync, and it couldn't come at a better time, closing the door in 3 straight.
Yeah, that was an absolutely ridiculous game back and forth. Both of those teams did a great job there. Boise State, though, were just able to take the advantage for long enough there, almost able to make a comeback for UC Davis, but as it just went back and forth, BSU found those couple more advantages and just continued to pepper the net. Even in their final game, a total of 11 shots, just continuing to keep that offensive pressure, and it was a bit too much for UC Davis. A phenomenal game back and forth nonetheless, and hey, Novanta, what a way to finish off the night. That was just absolutely breathtaking to see that back and forth there, and you called it, my man. I've got to admit it. You called it from the start.
Man, I think I call myself Novadamus or something like that. These teams, I love the leagues. I love the fact that even after the game, I know you can't see the chat there, exchanging pleasantries. This is what NECC is all about. It's the best of what these schools can bring, and it's all for the love of game of Rocket League, man. I'm so glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, this is a great thing that we've been able to develop here at the NECC. And again, we want to make sure that you guys know that we are as thankful for you guys as everybody else. You in the audience, we speak to you. If we don't have you here, we can't do this week in, week out. So again, thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate it. And well, I hate to be that guy that makes a cheesy transition, but we also have a couple other people that we'd like to thank. So real quick, we do also want to make sure that we give a shout out to all of our other partners here at the
0%
NECC.
cheese. That was 0% cheese.
0% cheese. I mean, you say that, but you know, I don't necessarily know if I believe you. Let me make sure I can find this as it's.
So can we talk about our sponsors? Are we doing that right now?
Trying to. Couldn't find the
sure.
read.
We're give a shout out to Meta Pro Gaming, who's a full-service esport management, developmental, and consulting company. Meta provides esports coaching, college esports management, arena design, and equipment. Visit them at metaprogaming.gg to learn more. That's metaprogaming.gg. Of course, Respawn products are forged for all-day comfort for content creators, professional and casual players, or anyone looking to upgrade their setup. Respawn has been battle-tested, as my co-host is definitely giving you the Vanna White. Battle-tested and achieves a level of comfort that leaves competitors in the dust. Live to play another day with Respawn, your battle-ready partner.
Oh, and well, it looks like we have got some perfect timing here. Novanta, after that absolutely angelic read, we have been blessed now to get all of the BSU team in here. Welcome, you guys. Congratulations on the win. I've got to imagine you guys are are feeling pretty hype after that one.
Yeah, definitely. It's our third week in a row, so we're pretty excited to get the third win and continue the streak.
And continue the streak you do. A very, very impressive win. Congratulations. Novanta, I'll let you open it up, my friend. What have you got for this BSU team?
We saw in the first game a lot more rigid play, making sure you're respectful of the rotations. But once UC Davis got involved in the matchup, you decided to turn up the heat. Was that a conscious decision? Was it just feeling out your opponent? Was it a certain strategy? What was your process in tonight's matchup?
I mean, I feel like we usually start pretty basic, like sticking with our best original plays. And then once we start feeling out the team, we start being more fluid with our motions and just becoming the team that we are. That's pretty good.
I mean, you guys played absolutely excellently. I mean, to put it simply, we were definitely blown away by the fact that over and over again, you guys were able to execute such great passing plays. I believe it was week number 1 circuit. Correct me if I'm mistaken on this one. That we gave you the Player of the Week award because of the fact that you guys last time you were on stream were able to link up and make ridiculous passing plays as well. Now we see you again here in week number 3, and all of a sudden we're realizing, oh, this isn't an unusual affair. This is the usual. How much are you guys trying out these passing plays? Is that just your usual strategy to link up as much as possible, or is that just when the time arises, we do what we can?
That's definitely something we've been working on as a team, and it's starting to show up in games for sure, just because it's what we've been working on in practice for a little bit now.
What does the training regimen look like now? It looks like you guys are in sync. I'm not sure if that is just a in-house type deal. Do you have like a certain scrim plan? Like, what's the time you spend in a week is making sure your chemistry is on the right level, right page?
We do a little bit of everything, so that'll be some replay reviews, some in-house scrims, but also some external scrims, so we don't get used to the same team.
Well, I mean, I hope you guys keep doing whatever you've been doing so far, because it seems to be a winning strategy. 3 weeks in a row, you guys have absolutely decimated so far, and it's just been... honestly, it just looks to keep on going up and up and up. You guys are getting even better passing plays as time goes on. The accuracy is starting to look better and better as time goes on. So really, just a congratulations all around. Novanta, I'll ask you if you got any last questions for these lads before we let them depart.
Going to ask you the question I asked the other teams today. Do you celebrate wins? And if so, what are you guys doing?
We don't, I wouldn't say we really celebrate wins, but we do play a lot of other games together and just hang out in Discord together pretty often, so I'm sure we'll...
Like bosses.
Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations. Good games.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, congratulations, guys. We're going to let you guys go. Real quick, if you'd like, though, any shout-outs you guys want to give to anybody that might be watching right now? No, sir? All right, I'll take it. That's fine. Listen, that's fine by me as well. You guys don't have to give any shout-outs. We'll let you guys get on out of here. Maybe you guys go play some games together. Love to see that chemistry. GG's, guys. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, sweet. So that will be the end of the night here. Novanta, thank you so much for coming in here at the very last cast of the night and being able to close this one out with me. Listen, it wasn't necessarily as back and forth as we were initially anticipating, but it was a banger of the match nonetheless, and it couldn't be done without you. Thank you so much, my man, for hopping in the booth here with me.
Hey, I go onslaughts sandwiched in between a technical Maven and game 2. I'm satisfied. It's Rocket League, baby.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's Rocket League action. And if you guys want to keep up with that Rocket League action, make sure to follow us here on Twitch. Make sure to check out all of our socials, ! Socials in the chat. Should bring up everywhere that you need to keep track of us. But for right now, that is going to be that. We're going to send you guys off to a couple more words from some of our partners here at the NECC. So for myself, for Novanta, for everybody behind the scenes, shout out to Caleb Gluby, our director of esports. Shout out to Jacob Van Ryan, our commissioner. Shout out to everybody else behind the scenes who helps out here in the Rocket League division. Gabriel, to Patrick, to probably forgetting a couple of names, but that's just because my brain has too many of them in there. So thank you to everybody behind the scenes. Thank you to you guys at home. We will see you guys next week for even more Rocket League action. GG's, good night. Enjoy the rest of your day.